Hey guys, what's up? Zach here with a random map game once again, back to the old off live stream commentaries. Today we've got a 1 versus 1 on Yucatan, a map which I actually haven't seen played for quite some time, and two players here who are actually both playing on their alternate accounts. We have down to the sort of east of the map, sort of southeast of the map, in blue, Yinghua, who is Lovecheng. He's playing as the Chinese. And over to the sort of northwest of the map in red, playing as the Chinese as well, is Edie, aka Amazing, one of his many alternative accounts. I think this guy has a new alternative account every week, who knows. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this game, because I've watched a lot of Edie recently, and you guys are probably like, oh man, you watch Edie so much, why? Why do you always watch Edie? The reason is, to be honest with you, that actually he's about one of the only guys who actually plays games that aren't Arabia Hun Wars. I mean, I try and upload as much variety as I really can, but it's very difficult in a lot of situations to actually find games that aren't Hun Wars, aren't Mayan Wars, that just aren't, Viking Wars on water maps. I do try and find other stuff, and I know you guys always complain when I upload something that's an Arabia Hun War, for instance. But you have to understand that the recorded games can be a little bit difficult to find sometimes, and I don't have all the time in the world to hunt through all the recorded games that are played and find the ones that aren't Arabia Hun Wars. The fact of the matter is, if you actually go to AOC Zone and look at the expert game section of the of the forums, you'll see that a good 90% are Arabia Huns, and the simple matter for that is because they are quite a versatile civilization, and in actual fact, they are one of the best civilizations to really practice speed on, and certainly practice for 1v1. So I think that's the real reason why they're seen a lot, and unfortunately that is the case. But anyway, enough of complaining about that anyway, we'll focus at the game in hand. The fact is, we've got a Yucatan here, which is kind of cool, because with the Yucatan you do have a lot of extra food, which is one of the reasons why Mongols like this map a lot. 2 berry bushes, 3 boar, a bunch of deer, and loads of turkeys as well. So food is abundant, to say the least, and we'll see both players taking a lot of food in here. Now, this can lead to a drush, but for the Chinese, really drushing not that common to see, because they do start with more villagers. They're slower to get their villager production going, and drushing just isn't usually seen all that often. In fact, Eddie's only got 2 villagers on wood at the moment, but saying that, Lovecheng has got 4, so we'll see what happens. A drush can be quite common on this map due to the fact there is so much food. But at the same time, with the Chinese, perhaps unlikely to see that happen. But we'll sit tight and see if we see a barracks come down in the next 2 minutes game time. But while the game is getting going, I just wanted to talk about streaming once again. And oh my god, you must think I'm like your grandma or something. Every time you tune into the ZeroEmpires channel, he's talking about streaming again. But yeah, I've got a Twitch partnership now, which is really good news. I got an email from Twitch, I think 2 days ago or yesterday, saying that, hey, you've been accepted. You can have a partnership, which is good news indeed. Good news. And I basically I've got a new sort of schedule thing going. It's posted on AOC Zone. I will link to that in the description of this video, so do check it out. But I'll explain it very quickly anyway, because it is easier to explain with words than text, I find. Spoken words and text. Basically, I'm not going to stream every day, but I will have an event set for every day of the week. So, for instance, on Thursdays, if I stream on a Thursday, it will be Tiny Map Thursday, which means that the games played will be, ideally, team games played on a tiny map. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be something a little bit different. And then, for instance, Tuesdays will be Turbo Tuesday, where the games played on the stream will be Turbo Random Map. Now, I've got something different for every single day of the week, and at the end of each week, so every Sunday, I'll post on AOC Zone and also update Facebook, letting you guys know exactly when I'm going to be streaming the following week. So for instance, on Sunday, I'll say, okay, next week I'm going to stream on Wednesday and Friday. And then you can check out what I'm going to be streaming on those days, and you know exactly when I'm streaming well in advance. I'm not going to be updating Facebook about 30 seconds before I start streaming. So it's just to get a little bit more organization involved, and to hopefully make a little bit more variety in the streaming sort of scene. So hopefully you guys are going to be interested in that. As I said, I will post the AOC Zone link to where you can find that information about all the days and stuff in the description. And if you haven't got an AOC Zone account already, I would highly suggest getting one. I mean, a lot of information comes out of AOC Zone about future tournaments and all of that stuff, so definitely consider that. So anyway, what's going on in the game? Well, third board's being brought in for both of them. And surprise, surprise, no barracks for either as well. We can see Edie started with a very quick wall off here, and his map isn't too bad. He's got a lot of stone in the back of his base, which is probably kind of what Edie likes to see, considering he plays so much arena. He's also got a small gold pile in the back of his base too, so that is something that he can definitely capitalise on without having to come forward and take this gold at the back. Looks like Lovecheng gonna lose his scout here. Oh, very, very nearly getting caught out there, but Eddie's scout should chase him down and finish him off anyway. But Yucatan is quite an interesting map. I mean, you can see already that Edie is continuing to pump out villagers here, and he will do so until he gets to about 26, I believe. In fact, he's queued up with the exact right amount for 26 villagers, which does mean that we will potentially see fast castles, considering that he's walled up as well. That is fairly likely. Now, the thing about Yucatan is that it can be quite difficult to wall up sometimes, depending on the map. But Eddie's kind of got quite lucky here with his walling capabilities. He's just got a very easy wall indeed, and he's going to be able to wall up quite nicely. Lovecheng, well, he's a little bit more open, especially on the right-hand side of the map. His gold is also on the front, but he should be able to secure that quite nicely with a little wall off here on the front, and we'll see how he plays it. Obviously, Eddie looking pretty defensive here with these walls. Perhaps Lovecheng going to look to get some harassment done to Eddie here and do some nice quick damage, maybe with a forward, but we'll have to see how that one plays out. Certainly looks like both players heading for a fast castle in this situation though. Lovecheng going up on 25 population, and he is, well, looking pretty good for food. He's got a lot of turkeys there, plenty of deer down here as well. Eddie, pretty much the same, also taking those deer, luring them towards his TC, which is always a good thing as well. And plenty of turkeys left over too, so food is in abundance. He's also already taking some stone, so it's like Eddie's playing arena, but he's not. He's playing Yucatan, but he's playing it with arena style. Interesting stuff. I'm always curious to see, because the arena sort of style, the kind of, fast castle with castle drop sort of thing is very good in arena. But you don't often see that strategy so much on other maps. I think Yucatan's one of those maps that you can kind of get away with it. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this one plays out for Eddie here, considering he's going for this kind of style play. So I'm going to speed things up slightly in game now until they get up to the Castle Age and we really see some action. Obviously, at this stage, Lovecheng has lost his scout cavalry, so he is lacking scouting information, no idea what's going on behind those walls at all. Whereas Eddie, going to be able to scout in now, and you can see that Yellow already putting up that stable there, as well as the blacksmith, so it will be a fast castle, but in like 13 minutes as well, so not bad timing. But Yellow is probably going to add some knights in. I mean, Chinese, not the best knights in the world, but they certainly do have the upgrades that they, +2 defense. Certainly worthwhile investing in them if you think it's going to be able to do some economic damage to your opponent. Obviously, in games where feudal rushing is involved, much more likely to see archers, but if you have got the ability or the possibility to go straight for knights, then absolutely no reason not to, I guess. Eddie, much slower here. I'm not really sure what's going on, to be honest with you. He actually got himself population blocked there, and instead he's researching Town Watch. Looks like, oh man, looks like he's actually not going to have enough food to go up to the Castle Age here. He's got 30 population at this stage. He's lacking the food at the moment. He's going to have to quickly drop some off here with these villagers gathering this turkey, and drop his golden villagers off as well. But Eddie very delayed up to the Castle Age there, looking very messy with these villagers all idle, population blocked as well, unable to get any more villagers out during that feudal age there. Looks like as well, almost very nearly losing his scout there. He is actually trapped in, so that's not good for him. And yeah, Lovecheng getting up to the Castle Age well in advance, and this is looking like Eddie's not really got a solid plan in his mind, aside from the fact that, yeah, I'm going to put a castle up. I think that's probably what he's thinking now. Going to get that castle up, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's continuing to wall up the front. I think he could pull off a fast Imperial, however that is extremely risky because he has only got Palisade Wall. Although he is walled in extremely closely to his TC here, but then saying that he's not also adding in very many farms, so I don't know, it's definitely going to be a castle, but there's yellow up to, not yellow, I keep saying yellow because his name starts with the letter Y, Lovecheng up to the Castle Age, and Knight's going to come straight out. I don't know how effective they're going to be though, because, as I said, Eddie is fully walled now, and he's completely not even leaving a gap for any knights to get in. I think he must have seen that stable, of course, so very well aware of what Lovecheng's up to. Lovecheng also adding in second and third TC. Again, you'd be pretty mad not to, because, you know, there's no real huge pressure coming in for Lovecheng here. He can just happily add in 2 TCs and not really have to worry about raiding at all, because it is quite nicely walled in, actually. Both of these guys getting, I don't know, not really lucky, but having quite nice maps for walling. It's quite an easy wall for both of them in this situation. A couple of knights then gonna head out for Lovecheng now. He's gonna be, of course, faced with a brick wall, and we'll see. Eddie then has got enough stone for the castle, but is he gonna place it aggressively? I really doubt it, to be honest with you. He's actually putting up a monastery here as well. Interesting stuff. I think maybe he's confused. I think he might be disoriented. Perhaps thinking that he's on arena. I don't know. But monastery is certainly going to be viable here, because defense against defense against knights even, with monks is extremely effective. And perhaps Eddie's going to put his castle out on the front here to defend or take this gold mine. So it doesn't look like Lovecheng's going to be able to do too much damage at all. Eddie is indeed putting up a second monastery now, and we'll have a look where the relics are. He's got one relic sort of inside of his base here, one in the centre, and I am missing the others. Okay, so one over here, one over here, and the final one seems to be invisible. I don't know where it is. Perhaps we're just missing it for some reason, but I can see 4 anyway, and Eddie should have no problem getting them, providing that the knights don't kill his monks. So quickly walling in those villagers there, scared that those knights are going to come in and kill them, but in actual fact, Lovecheng not going to be able to be so successful. Knight going to come out, not knight, monk going to come out even, but Eddie is housed again, and I don't know, this is looking very messy from him, but considering how messy it's looking, he's not really too far behind in score, but consider that Lovecheng now is just building eco. It's not really too much of a big deal. Eddie getting in that first relic right now, second monk coming out, and yeah, probably should move those villagers back into your town. That would be useful. He's also got 920 or 840, whatever, stone in the bank now, actually putting up a TC on the front. Can still, of course, drop that castle at any time. He's got enough for a third TC as well. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like they're both playing fairly passively, and Lovecheng trying to get a little bit of map control or some scouting information, I guess, with these knights. Probably not going to be so fortunate, as Eddie does have 3 monks here, so 3 knights, 3 conversions, that's your army gone. Eddie not going to get a conversion this time, though. Lovecheng going to move away very quickly, and micro against monks is quite difficult. You have got to react very quickly to get out of their line of sight, otherwise you will find yourself losing your entire army. But then again, same for monks, got to be able to micro them quickly and effectively as well, otherwise you're not going to have a very easy time. But Eddie, look at this! This is nice. Abandoning the TC on the front, going to drop a castle right here over Lovecheng's gold. So very interesting strategy from him. And Eddie's pushing forwards with those monks now. And the simple fact of the matter is that Lovecheng cannot cope with the monk push, having to retreat back with that villager. Eddie, I don't know, could try and convert that monk from Lovecheng as well, but seemingly not noticing. Lovecheng going to drop the monk there, drop the relic there, going to try and convert that scout, but nice one from Eddie, taking the monk down. And just going to sit on this hill and try and get some conversions where he can by the looks of it. Quickly healing that up, but wow! That long distance snipe! Eddie's going to convert it back though, surely. No, never mind. Lovecheng going to delete that unit rather than pass it over. Eddie going to take the relic on the front, but does Lovecheng see this castle? Yes, he does indeed. And he really has no answer to it, I suppose. He doesn't actually have the stone to stop that castle or to put a castle up in defense. This stone here actually walled in by trees, so very unlucky for Lovecheng. And Eddie's just going to come forwards, put this castle up, deny Lovecheng any gold, and that is a nasty position to be in because the other gold right outside of Lovecheng's base. But Lovecheng putting up a town centre on there very quickly indeed, so he will be able to take some gold at the very least. But Eddie could potentially break down these walls as well, and if Eddie gets into your base with a bunch of monks, well, you're probably going to have a pretty bad time. And in actual fact, it looks like he's going to take another... Oh no, never mind. I thought he was still taking quite a bit of stone there. I thought maybe he would try and drop another castle on the front. Interesting that Eddie decided to go forwards with so many villagers. But either way, going to try and focus down on these walls now. And actually creating Chuko Nu. Eddie is getting very aggressive here. Let's see if it's going to pay off. He's got a very bad economy, really. He's only just got his third TC up. He really doesn't have that many villagers. Let's have a quick look. Yes, 46 villagers for Eddie, compared to the 60 of Lovecheng. I'd say Lovecheng's pretty further ahead in terms of eco. In fact, putting down a 4th and 5th TC over on the gold on the right-hand side of the map. And I guess Lovecheng's got pretty lucky, really. There is a lot of gold over here for him to collect. And in fact, there's the other relic as well. So I don't think Lovecheng's in a particularly bad situation at all, considering this castle just covered his main gold. The question is, if these walls do get taken down, what's Lovecheng going to have to respond with that? I mean, he's not really making a whole lot of army at the moment. He has got one siege workshop and a few scout cavalry. That's not really going to be a lot to deal with a bunch of Chuko Nus from Eddie here. So, I don't know, it could be pretty nasty for Lovecheng if Eddie gets in. That's the real if there. So knights coming in from Lovecheng here, no upgrades at all, not really investing too heavily in them. Of course the late game sort of Chinese build is going to be along the lines of Rams and Chuko Nus, maybe some onagers as well, but generally speaking they don't really invest too much in their knight line, so not really spending any resources on upgrading those knights at all. And a quick nice snipe there from Lovecheng as well on that knight, so looks pretty good for him in terms of actual raiding here. Considering these knights have no upgrades, he's doing a pretty good job of actually keeping Eddie inside of his TCs. And Eddie, I think, just relying on this push now at the front to really do the damage. The wall is down, and now he just needs to focus down this palisade. He will be in with about 6, 9, 10 or so Chuko Nu and a bunch of monks. Eddie as well just researching redemption, and more monks coming out to defend his base, but a lot of idle villager time here. I can't help but think that this night raiding has been way too effective, considering there's just 3 of them and they have no upgrades. But either way, Eddie, for some reason, not focusing down this palisade, perhaps waiting for a few more Chuko Nu to come out first, and really very little in defense for Lovecheng at this stage. Chuko Nu going to get in. Eddie's got +1 range and attack. No bodkin arrow just yet, but he might get quite a few villagers done with this. Looks like he's going to be able to clean up the knights inside of his base. Monk there just managing to survive. Very, very close indeed. But Eddie now with the Chuko Nu getting in. And they're a reasonable raiding unit, I'd say. They don't have the best range, but of course ranged units are going to be better still than anything else. But look at this. Nice one by Lovecheng there, quickly taking those light cavalry out of that stable and doing a lot of damage to those monks. I think Eddie lost a lot of value there, indeed. Losing, I'd say, 5 or 6 monks, was that? That's quite a lot of gold to be lost. That's 500 or 600 gold just thrown down the pan because Eddie did not manage to protect them. So kind of a big deal for that one. And he's got to micro this one well, because these Chuko Nus will go down very quickly to TC fire as well. Mangonel out for Lovecheng. Looks like he's able to defend it with that for now. Another Mangonel as well, actually. But Mangonels will go down very quickly to Chuko Nu fire. They just have to be microed right. Otherwise, they will die very quickly to the Mangonel. If you micro well, Mangonel not a problem. But if you micro badly, Mangonel gonna flatten your army. One shot in already. Wow, that was a good one. And Edie just retreating back to his castle. Not really what he wants to happen, I don't think, considering he wanted to go for a big deadly push there. Gonna pick off that Mangonel though, that's kind of nice for him, but yellow, not yellow, Lovecheng even putting up a castle in defense now. And probably going to be considering just defending his eco with that. He's going to be absolutely fine for the time being, but I say the time being because Edie now is up to the Imperial Age. He is going for some kind of, not fast Imperial, it's not really a fast Imperial typically, but quite a fast Imperial time regardless. Another castle out on the front as well. A lot of knights now out for Lovecheng though. He has got bloodlines and +1 defense, so going to be a little bit more tough at dealing with the Chukonu from Edie, but under the castle fire and with all those Chukonu on the hill, I don't know if these knights are going to really do that much damage. Looks like he's picked off a few villagers, might delay this castle somewhat, but it looks like the castle will likely go up. It doesn't seem like that push from Lovecheng there was very effective at all. This round will go down fairly quickly as well. Chukonu good at dealing with siege, which is quite an interesting fact about them, considering they're an archer unit. And Edie now trying to get some conversions on those buildings, but Lovecheng would rather delete himself in true sort of martyr style. I don't know, I was going to say Japanese style, but he's playing as the Chinese, so never mind that. Castle's going for both of them sort of in defense here, but it does concern me slightly, because although Edie is further behind in score, he is further behind in economy, he is going to have, and he's further behind in population, he is going to have trebuchets out in just a moment. And that does mean that these castles will go down very quickly for Lovecheng, providing Edie can protect them. Lovecheng at this moment in time is a long way from going up to the Imperial Age. In fact, he's investing very heavily in knights here. And that itself is quite risky, I suppose. Actually upgrading +1 attack now, as well as, of course, the previous bloodlines and defensive upgrades. But 2 castles here. 2 castles, +2 attack and range done on the Chukonu. So these knights will go down very quickly, regardless of their upgrades. With 2 castles firing upon them, it's not nice at all. Edie, though, trebuchets now coming out, and these castles from yellow, not yellow, Lovecheng, God, when am I going to get it right? These castles from Lovecheng are going to go down very quickly. The question is, can Lovecheng defend it? Because if he can just get up to the Imperial Age, or push Edie right back and take out these castles with rams or something, then he might be alright. It's just not looking that likely at this moment in time. Edie is very well known for pushing incredibly hard, very early, without much eco to back it up. But I think Lovecheng doing exactly the right thing here, bringing in a bunch of knights into Edie's economy. Eddie's probably not going to be very well prepared to deal with this, putting villagers inside of his TC very quickly indeed. Is he going to have enough room in there for everyone? Well, the answer is no, and he is going to lose quite a few villagers here to this raiding. But he does have Bracer done, so these knights will go down quickly to the TCs as well. And now 1 castle down for Lovecheng on the front. Edie going to move in to take out the second one as well. And Lovecheng's not looking in the best position actually, considering that he is raiding Eddie's eco and that he is so far ahead in terms of economy. 120 villagers to Eddie's 64. Lovecheng's economy is really, really far ahead. But at the same time, actually, considering his economy is further ahead, he has had to invest quite a lot in building it to that stage. And now, he's probably going to think about going up to the Imperial Age in just a moment's time, getting ready to make a sort of big push back into Edie here. This is what Edie kind of looks for though. He wants the opponent to boom, because if they're booming, it means they're not building a lot of military. It means they're not really invested so much in upgrading their units and such. So Eddie's in a great position, going to be able to do a lot of damage. He is losing a hell of a lot back at home though. These knights look like they're just about going to be finished off, and Eddie's eco extremely disrupted, but this is kind of what he wants. Not to have his eco disrupted, but he wants to be putting the pressure on very quickly, and and have Lovecheng unable to really respond to it. +2 defense and attack now done on the Knights, but against Bracer and +1 defense, they will go down quickly. Lovecheng though managing to take out that one trebuchet very quickly indeed. That is one kind of saving grace for him, I guess, but Knights absolutely wrecked. As Eddie's just continuing to pile the pressure on. Imperial upgrade just started for Lovecheng though. And it looks like he's continuing with those that knight production. He will probably upgrade to Cavalier into the Imperial Age. Of course, he doesn't have Paladin. But I don't know. I don't know if that's such a good idea for him. The kind of, you know, to respond against Chuko Nu, you do need a bit of siege. You do need some, well, I was going to say onagers, but he's made a lot of rams. I mean, I suppose rams going to be sort of effective, but really not going to be as effective as against other archer units as they would be against other archer units even. Chuko Nu, as I said before, they do take out rams pretty quickly because they just have so much damage output, which is unlike any other unit, archer unit. Interestingly enough, this castle has been tried to be repaired a lot by Lovecheng here, but Eddie's still taking it down, and the stone has run out, so he's going to be able to take that one down pretty quickly by the looks of it, with another trap now out as well. Eddie's doing so much damage here, another castle going up, and I'm surprised Lovecheng is holding on to this sort of onslaught. I really think the best way to kind of counter Chuko Nu is to make Chuko Nu. I'm going to be very curious to see if he can really pull it off by making a lot of knights here. It looks like he's continuing with the knight production. This castle has to go down now though. It really is getting low, and Lovecheng has no stone to repair it. That's going to be it. Castle down, and Eddie's now just going to move in here, I feel, and do a lot of damage to his economy. Raiding somehow still coming in at Eddie's base, but as I said before, I don't think Eddie's too concerned about that. He's all about the big deadly push. I think, considering he's almost got half the amount of villagers and he's really not too far behind in population, Eddie's army is really quite large at this moment in time. Castles going up everywhere and just continuing to push in. This siege workshop though for Lovecheng could catch Eddie off guard. He has got a lot of rams in there, and if Cap Ram gets upgraded straight away, then he might take that castle out. There is a possibility of that. But let's see, is he upgrading Cavalier? Yes he is, it's on 5% right now. He's also researching Capped Ram as well. No upgrades at the blacksmith just yet, but I imagine they'll come in fairly soon. A lot of light cavalry coming out, in fact. Interesting choice. Really quite interesting choice. Light cavalry. I don't know what if he thinks he can really break Eddie down with light cavalry. Eddie doesn't have the elite Chuko Nu yet. He's not going to be able to afford that for quite some time. Another castle going down for Lovecheng. Oh man, he's very defenseless. His economy here is just so open to trebuchet fire and raiding. This TC will go down, but the gold is mined out here anyway, so I guess he's not too concerned about that. But here comes the push now from Lovecheng. No more blacksmith upgrades coming in at all. The capped rams coming out very quickly, and this is good timing. The capped rams though, look how quickly they're going to go down. One volley of arrows from these Chuko Nu will do the damage. There's a Mangonel behind here as well, putting out some extra damage as well. And the Chuko Nu are doing so much to the rams, so much to these knights, but it looks like this castle will go down for Eddie here. The Chuko Nu just holding on. Eddie just trying to move them out of position a little bit and get them kind of to a little bit of a safer place. Looks like the castle will drop. It's hard to say, because if Eddie does deal with this army quickly, then he will be able to push into the rams, but it looks like the castle will go down first. And man, Eddie did a huge amount of damage there. The scores tipping into his favour. Now he can deal with the rams, not a problem at all. They go down extremely quickly. And good push by Lovecheng there. I can't help but feel that was quite a good push. But then again, saying that, he did lose a hell of a lot to it. All of his army now pretty much gone. The Cavalier upgrade, I think that was denied as well. The stable researching that got taken down, and he's had to re-research it. Man, Lovecheng kind of like split up all over the place now. His economy spread very thinly, but a lot of light cavalry starting to be created up over here to the right of Eddie's base, and he's doing quite a bit of raiding, or he will do quite a bit of raiding at any rate. Still with a population lead, and it looks like Eddie's eco is in a very bad position at the moment. He's still 50, well, not 50, almost 70 villagers behind Lovecheng at this stage. And Lovecheng's just getting in there with his light cavalry, trying to raid as best he can. But, man, this is really nice by Eddie here. Gonna get into this wood line by the looks of it as well. A lot of dead villagers gonna happen here, I guess. But Cavalier now done for Lovecheng, and man, I don't think Eddie has anywhere near enough Chuko Nu to deal with that. Cavalier, they suddenly look a lot more scary when they're upgraded from Knights. Eddie gonna have a pretty tough time at dealing with that, I feel, but he is doing quite a bit of eco damage as well, but finally getting cleared up by the Cavalier, and I don't think he's got enough here. Siege Ram is now completed, and I think, yeah, I mean, just seriously, just numbers, pure numbers from Lovecheng, kind of helping him out a lot here. But Eddie still holding on, keeping that hill bonus there as best he can, making good use of these castles to do extra damage to the Cavalier as they come in. And again, Lovecheng losing quite a lot, but it looks like Eddie may lose this castle here as well, with 7 rams, siege rams on the way in, and there's the GG from Eddie. I think he feels like the eco raiding is too much at this stage, and he just doesn't have enough army to really push this back. Obviously, you've got to bear in mind that although he did quite a lot of damage to these castles, and he did quite a lot of damage to the eco here, the main majority of Lovecheng's eco was actually untouched the entire game. I think this raiding here was about the only thing that really happened to his main eco. And Lovecheng just managed to sort of build around this push from Eddie here and eventually overwhelm him. But man, I really thought Eddie was going to have that. Considering he took out the 2 castles very quickly, pushed in with another and took out the 3rd, considering as well that he took out Lovecheng's army multiple times, he did a very good job of pushing back and pushing Eddie right back. I really thought Eddie might have just swung it enough in his favour to do the eco damage, but that was not the case, and Lovecheng managed to just hold on long enough to push it back, so very well played by him. And interestingly as well, seeing the Chinese go for Cavalier, not something you see every day, I guess. But yeah, that's that, and what a game it was. So thanks everyone for watching. As usual, I've been Zach, and do check the description for this video about the stuff I talked about at the start. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.